Barak, Yahweh, Alam, Shalom, righteous family. Welcome back to TRU-TALK. Uh, I'm going to add this series in with righteous biblical marriage and sex, add one-on-one because I think uh, what I'm about to speak about goes into this because you shouldn't be having babies without, well, you can't have babies without having sex, and you shouldn't have sex without having babies. I mean, you shouldn't have sex without being married. And what is the righteous way, the biblical way to give birth according to the scriptures? Let's get into it. Okay, let's start at Leviticus chapter 12, verse 1. And Yahweh spoke to Moses, saying, 2, speak to the children of Israel, saying, if a woman conceive seed and born a male child, then she should be unclean 7 days, according to the days of the separation of her infirmity shall she be unclean. And in the 8th day, verse 3, and in the 8th day, the flesh of his foreskin shall be circumcised. So we know that. Let's just stop right there for a minute and dissect these two verses, because it specifically says that she shall be unclean 7 days. And then it says that when the 8th day comes, that's after the 7th day, the 8th day, that the male child should be circumcised. And this part of the covenant. Now, most male child that's born in the Western Hemisphere, we are circumcised. It's just something that we get done. They ask our mamas, and their mamas, I believe it's something spiritual that made my mama say yes. She don't even know why she said yes, but she agreed to get circumcised. It wasn't on the 8th day. I think it was like the 1st or 2nd day that they come and say, do you want them to be circumcised? And it was kind of taboo to not be circumcised. But you got people that are not circumcised and so forth. But I'm just thankful that I was circumcised, even though it wasn't the 8th day, even though we didn't know that it was spiritual and what we was doing, because by me being circumcised, allowed for me to be able to say I'm a part of this covenant. But verse 4 said, and she shall then continue in the blood of her purifying 3 to 30 days or 33 more days. She shall touch no hollow thing, nor come into the sanctuary until the days of her purifying be fulfilled. So it's like, wait a minute. It just said after the 7th day that she'll be unclean for 7 days. But then it says after the 8th day, when the child gets circumcised, when she unclean, that she got to continue in being purified. It don't necessarily say she's unclean, but this is an uncleanness we know. When you can't touch anything unholy or go into sanctuary, it means you got some uncleanness thing amongst you. So let's really just look at this and break this down, because I want to show y'all what the Most High showed me and how biblical this is and how beautiful it is and how much this is benefiting for the woman and the child. Because a lot of times we look at this with a Western mind and we see unclean. And a lot of times these words are trigger words. And when we see unclean, we usually think a person is at fault and a person did something wrong and, they're unclean now. So uh, it's just got a negative conversation around it. But this unclean is really beneficial for the woman and the baby, because she goes through two type of uncleanness. The first uncleanness is when she had a baby. Well, she have to be separated from everybody else. And that don't mean that she's in a dark dungeon by herself or in some little space by herself. Because when you look at the biblical way or the righteous way of doing this, usually if they rich enough, they'll build on like a second room, or uh, have what we call today a guest house. It'll be like a guest house, a second house that they'll have built. And this house is be specifically for the wife that just gave birth and the baby. And this will not be no ugly, down run place. This place must be beautiful and clean. And it must be clean because what when I did a little research and understood was they said that a woman really don't heal up to around about 6 weeks or 40 days. And they said that also depend on the woman and the baby size and all that. But usually it takes 40 days or more for a woman to completely heal. And then it says the first 2 days are the critical. Most days while she healing up is because, she's still fully open and sore down there. And she can get affected. And the baby being brand new, the baby can catch something. So the lady and the man and the baby have to be in a germ-free environment. So they gotta be separated from anybody that may go in and get her sick or the baby sick. So when you at this level, this first uncleaner for 7 days, nobody can touch you. You can't touch nobody. So this is actually a good thing for the woman because the woman don't have to clean. She don't have to cook. She don't have to see about the kids. It's almost like a vacation. Matter of fact, other people's gonna be cooking for her. She gonna have her little space separated from everybody else. Just her and the baby. She ain't gotta cook, clean up. She ain't gotta wake up and cook breakfast, dinner, lunch. She ain't gotta wash clothes. She ain't gotta sweep the floor. She ain't gotta wash the dishes. She ain't gotta do none of that. She ain't gotta see about the kids. It's just her and the baby. And matter of fact, either the aides or the husband that she got there, they will more kindle her. They will cook the food because she can't cook, because she got to be separated from everybody. They'll cook the food and bring it to her, or they'll ask her what she wants and bring her what she wants so she can eat and be able to be strong and nurtured to be able to nurture the baby. So this is, a lot of times our women don't get to have this break and luxury nowadays. And so she's will be it would be like that for 7 days. And everything she sit on would be dirty, and and it would have to be washed every day. It'll be considered unclean. So she'll put that stuff in the bag and set it out. for somebody else to wash it and bring her new clothes. So every day she'll be getting new linen. She won't have to, she'll have to clean up behind herself and the baby. But for the most part, everything else will be taken care of. Only thing she have to do is work on healing and taking care of the baby. Now we're gonna get into the science of this, how important it is for her and the baby to be together the first even few hours, but days, and how important that is. So then after she's strong enough and she done healed up a little bit, and the baby get a little stronger and done heal, then if it's a boy on the 8th day, you'll take him to circumcise, and then she'll go into the second phase of uncleaning. This is what one would consider light duty. You know how certain women be pregnant and they come back to work, but they be put on light duty. They ain't gotta do as much. They take it easy because remember she's still healing, and she can be touched now, and she can clean and cook and all that. But now she just can't go into the holy places or touch anything holy, and that would very easy to do because there wasn't so many things that was holy. When the priests they put on their garments, couldn't touch the priest in the holy garment, couldn't touch the holy sacrifices, couldn't go into the sanctuary. So this is pretty easy to do, to not touch anything holy or to not go into the sanctuary of the Most High while you still healing and healing up and getting better and stronger. And it's more for the woman to keep the woman because during these times, her body is still fully much healing and open, and it's easy for her to go out there and get sick and catching something or pollute somebody, you know what I'm saying? So it's to protect the woman first of all, and the child, and then herself. So let's get into this. Is she bear? It says that, oh yeah, she should continue in the blood of her purification 3 to 30 days. That's 32 days. And I was like, why 32 days and plus the 7 days, 33 plus 7, that would be 40 days. I'm like, what's significant about 40 days? Well, remember, this book is over 1,000-something years old, written about how they say our ancestors, well, we shouldn't even listen to them no more. When they say the people in the past, were so ignorant and didn't have technology, we know that's a lie. But intelligent people, this how smart and wise the Most High is. He knows the body. He knows how long it takes for a woman to fully heals up. So I just did a quick Google search, if you want to call it that. And I said, how long it takes to heal after giving birth? And look what it says, 6 weeks. It says it takes about 6 weeks to fully heal from giving birth. But this may vary depending on the individual situation. So we're gonna stop right there. And I looked up 6 weeks. I did 7 times 6. So there are 7 days in a week. We got 6 weeks, and we got 42 days. So they saying it take about 42 days, depending on the woman to heal. And what do you know? The scriptures gave the woman 40 days, well, 7 days to be separated, and then 33 more days to be on light work to heal up. But she can't really go out and be amongst the congregation, be all traveling and working herself too much. Just light work, taking it light. You know, she can clean up, but really, she don't supposed to be doing that much. She may have a maid, or she don't have a maid. She may have a husband, or uh, uh, if this, a third or fourth child, she may have an older child that's assisting her, or a family member that may come over, a sister, a mama, or a cousin that will help her and say, no, with 33 more days, you still got to heal up. You still in the blood of your purification. You won't like do that. I'm going to see about these things. I'm going to go out in the marketplace and shop for you, because you can't be out there because you may touch something holy, or you know what I'm saying? Or you may get sick because you ain't fully healed up. So we see how this beneficial for the woman. And this is, we got to stop looking at the Most High words as if he's doing things just to be doing things and making it hard for us. Everything he done and doing, and every mandate that he gave for us, we might not understand it because we grew up in this world, up under this worldly mind system. And really our mind become corrupted. That's why the apostles wrote, we gotta renew our minds. We gotta get back to the old path. The Most High way, his way, is better and pure. And they won't give him credit. They'll do things that line up with the scripture. They'll know things that's beneficial for us that the scriptures been tell us, but they won't say where they get this information for, or they won't give credit to the Most High that the Most High been understanding or knew this information. And then of course it says that if it's a female child, you be separated for not uh 7 weeks, but 2 weeks. So you have basically a longer time, which is you and the baby. A longer time not cooking and cleaning is you. And you even have a longer period. It doubles from being 33 to, when you add it up, it's 80 days. You have 80 days before you can get back out there and fully healed and fully work when you have a female. Now, I looked up to see if there's a difference between a female and a male. Most of them really did not explain. They said really it wasn't no different. Usually the male wear more pounds. But what I do realize is that the male sits up and the female sits down low on the woman. So it seems like the female, even though the male would be heavy, because the female sits down low, that it would cause more strain on the woman's body. So you would expect it would take more time for her to heal after she give birth, to get her strength back, to get up, to get everything right. But not getting too deep in this, some even speculate, there's even the scripture said, because the woman was not brought to Adam until 2 weeks after Adam was made. So that's why the woman. But nevertheless, when a woman gives birth to a female, you can just say her time of vacation and relaxing double. So when it says a woman has to be separated, let's not look at it as they prostrating her for everybody and say, oh, you unclean, you have a baby, and just put her off in a dark room and shut the door and say, you gotta be separated from us. No, this was a beautiful time. That, first of all, the place that she had to be clean. And it was a beautiful, she was, how can I put it? She was put in a very clean, upscale, wonderful environment where her and the baby cannot just live in, but thrive in. It wasn't small. It had enough space for her and the baby. It probably had a place where she can wash, place where she can go to the bathroom, place where she can cook, place where she can, I'm thinking about today's time. Today's time have a bed, a TV, a place where she can exercise, have a whole place hooked up for her. Because this human being had to live here with another human being. Of course, the man loved his wife and loved his child. He wanted his child to have the best, and his wife have the best. And once again, this place had to be clean, because the whole point of her being separated is so she don't catch anything, because she have to heal up. And in those 2 states of healing up, it's critical that she don't be around anything dirty or unclean. And I can tell you, one of the worst places you can be is the hospital. I remember I went to the hospital and caught some type of rash. And they was like, oh yeah, it's just been going around. And I'm like, geez, I go to the hospital for one thing and catch something else. But can I back this up with scripture about a woman needing to heal? I type this in. It's important for a woman to be with her baby the first days and first hour of birth. It said, who recommend that a woman should not be discharged for 24 hours after birth? Now, this is what they recommend. 24 hours, she got to not be released. But as we know, the scripture says 7 days. She should be closely watched, monitored, not cleaning and cooking, and somebody else cooking and looking after her. And she should be in a clean environment, just her and the baby. So are you gonna go with scripture, or are you gonna go with some man? It says, regardless of the place of birth. So regardless which the birth took place, it's important that someone accompany the woman and newborn for the first 24 hours after birth to respond to any changes in the baby condition. And then it goes into, you can look that article up, it's NCBI article, the government book, and it goes into that how important it is, what they consider the first 2 days of the woman and the baby, where, their condition can change. The woman can get affected, the baby can get sick. So they just want to watch them for 2 days. But we know the structure is supposed to be more than 2 days. That's supposed to be 7 days. And this is what the structure is talking about when it's saying the baby and the mama supposed to be separated. And in their unclean, supposed to be unclean, then nobody don't supposed to come in and touch them and get them and cause them to have any affection or get sick. This is what its uncleanness means when it says that they are unclean and should be separated. It's really benefiting the woman and for the woman and child benefit, but how our mind is wired, because we think unclean just means one thing and one thing only, and that's not true. But also, how important it is. Remember, these 7 days, it's supposed to be just the woman and the baby, not the children, not the husband, just the woman and the baby. And there's a scientific study that shows this is beneficial. I'm gonna just read a little bit. And this article is at stanfordhelp.org, women pregnancy. News.stanfordhelp.org in this article. on pregnant women, and it's titled The Golden Hours. It says, I'm gonna start off reading. It says, the first few minutes after birth are the magical time for bonding with baby. What? The first few minutes. Now we know that in this wicked world, as soon as you have the baby, they take the baby from you, they wrap it up, and they put it in a room with a whole bunch of other babies. First of all, I always been scared about that because how you know that's my baby? And there's been many cases of babies getting mixed up in the hospital and people taking the wrong baby home or they put on the wrong tag. A lot of times them doctors don't be paying attention. They're like, oh, we put the name tag on. Well, did you make sure you put the right name tag on? But nevertheless, there's something as simple as that where you can be raising the wrong child or have the wrong child. And it's been even more wicked where the doctors themselves, just out of wickedness, they working there and they'll change stuff. I think it was the doctor, she finally came out on her deathbed where she was working in the baby unit. And she said she would just change the name tag. And she really didn't know why she was doing it. She would do it for fun. So there was so many kids that grew up with parents that was not theirs. But they take your baby and they put him in this glass room and his glass little crib, and this supposed to be protection. And I'm like, this same air that everybody else breathing, they breathing. It's almost like having a bulletproof vest that's made of nothing but cotton. It may look like it's gonna protect you. You may even feel like it's gonna protect you, but it's not gonna stop a bullet. Just like those glass walls and doors and glass little crib is not stopping germs from getting in. They still breathing the same air that's in the hospital everybody else breathing. But they take your baby from you and they put them in this room and they say you need a rest. They don't give you time to heal up. And they really don't even give you that much time to spend with your baby. And a lot of times the women be so doped up that they not even consenting to know what's going on. But look what this says. It says, and this is a female doctor kind of speaking from her own experience. She says, I think for a lot of moms, it's finally that moment where they can just breathe and at the last, at least for me, when I held our first, so they firstborn, it was like, you know, this was 9 months of knowing, of not knowing what this child looks like, what they feel like. Finally, I can feel that, says Dr. Michael so-and-so, and principal at Stanford Health in Blase, South Colorado. Research has shown that what happens during the first 60 minutes of a baby's life, which is often referred to as the golden hour, can maximize the bonding between the mama and child. The golden hour is very beneficial and critical for even years down the road between birth to mom and baby. So it says this golden hour is beneficial and critical. I mean, this is something that really must be done for not only the baby, but for the mama for years down the road, not just for that little few minutes, or it says for years. So this is going to follow you until you grow up. It says that's super helpful to stabilize the newborn coming out of the uterus as well as bonding. So it goes into this whole article, goes into, it talks about, and there's another article, and it talks about that there's a chemical that happens when the baby is first born and the mama is first give birth, the woman's body start to change to becoming a mother, and the baby body start to change, and both of these bodies chemicals give off, and it's like skin to skin. The baby have to be there with the mama, and the first, it says the first 60 seconds of being born, and this bunny, and what this article and another article talked about was why most childs, you know, that seem like they have a bond issue where they can't get away from mama, where everywhere mama go, like right behind mama. And I was a child like that. Like my mama would go somewhere, I'd be like 5 or 6, and my mama would go somewhere and she'll take me and I'd be glued to her leg. Wherever she go, I go. She'll turn around and bump into me. She'll be like, boy, get from behind me. You all up on me. I can't even turn around. But she even said, even, and that's what happened to the child, with the child having bond issue where it won't be separated. It's so afraid to be separated from the mama, and vice versa. The mama is so afraid to be separated from the child. We all hear about those moments when the child first go to preschool or daycare, and the mama, be crying or want to stay or don't want her baby to go. A lot of this got to do with because they didn't have this first, what they say, first 60 minutes, which is should be the first 7 days, to just the mama and the baby could just bond together. But critical in the first minutes, when the mama first had the baby and the baby first born, the baby supposed to be with his mom. I forgot what that article was, but it was talking about skin to skin. That when the woman have the baby and the babies give, the woman give birth and the skin touch each other, they give out some chemical. It's this scientific thing that they realize that what happened to the woman body and the baby body, here go right here. They would do skin to skin, and they talk about, when the mama lay the baby on her chest or whatever, that these first seconds are so critical and beneficial that it shows up years later in the child. And you can tell they spent that first minute with the child, without the child, because if they did, the child would be most likely, it's almost like something down low into that child self-conscious, and let that child know mama loves you. You got a mother, she gonna take care of you. And don't worry, you're not gonna be abandoned. So them country knowing that, they be willing to go out and expense more. Don't have to be up under mama as much. And at the same time, sitting down low into mama, well, just tell the mama, hey, this baby love you, but it's gonna grow up and have to live its own life. So the mama won't be too attached and allow for the baby to grow up. And she won't be, you won't have mama boys and uh, what they call helicopter mamas that just hovers over their child and won't let their child uh, be a child. They say all this got to do with the development of the baby and the mama letting go and their relationship as mother and child. All this got to do with the first hours of bonding. That they got to have this bond. They got to be with each other. And they even talk about the breast milk that is that is beneficial for in the first hours of the baby being born, that the woman should breastfeed the baby. And that's beneficial to the body. It's a science. They did a study behind it that uh, when a mama feed the baby in the first hours of being born, that it's more beneficial. The baby develop better. The mama develop more healthy and pure milk in her breast. But nowadays, what they want to do, they want to give your baby chemicals, mix up superficial fake milk in a bottle, and you a woman full of all this breast milk, and you steady spending money on this Similac when the Most High allow for you to produce that for free. But it goes back to not knowing how that we don't forget the biblical way, not only how to be wives and husbands, but how to be mothers and take care of our children the right way, the biblical way, the original way, before all these chemicals and stuff that came. So this is beautiful in itself. There's a whole science behind it, that how the mama and the baby need to bond. And this relationship is critical and beneficial for the baby development. Uh, and not only that, but for the woman to breastfeed her baby is beneficial to the health and the growth of the baby. So while this woman is alone with, is separated, just her and the baby for those 7 days, that's the time when they are bonding. You know, tell you the truth, I think about it and I laugh. After being with that baby for 7 days, she might be tired of him, and the baby might be tired of her. And she might say, here, be willing to give it to somebody else. But just me, I never like people holding a newborn baby, and I never like holding a newborn baby. Somebody have a newborn baby, everybody want to hold them. They just let everybody hold them, like, hold their head now and do this. It's like, this baby fresh out the womb. You don't know if this person got some type of cologne on that the baby body don't agree with, or the linen of their clothes they got. Maybe the baby don't agree with what this baby allergic to. You just allowing people to hold this newborn. It don't even be 3 days and this newborn, they allow everybody to hold it. No, that baby, nobody should touch or hold that baby, at least for 7 days or even 40 days until the woman fully get healed. But yes, this is beautiful. Just wanted to share this about how this uh, Leviticus 12, that maybe we can look at this with new eyes, with a circumcised heart. Look at this with not a hardened heart, a circumcised heart, not a worldly way, but a righteous way. That when it's talking about a woman being unclean and separated, it's for the woman to heal, for the woman and the baby combined, and to keep them from being sick or getting any type of disease. And yeah, this is what this for, is to benefit the woman. In the meantime, the woman is on a vacation. She ain't got to cook and clean or do anything, and she in a clean place where she kind of getting catered to. So yes, this how much the Most High love us. And if we just can get back to doing things His ways, not only will we be more healthier, more happier, when you do things the right way, it will cancel out a lot of negativity and bad things that we end up suffering. But as always, before you have children, make sure you are married. Before you have sex, make sure you are married. Make sure you pray and vet the man or the woman that you're courting. There's nothing wrong with dating or courting, but while you dating or courting, pull out that old school word, courting. But while you dating or courting or getting to know the person, don't have sex. Be pleasing to the Most High. Make sure y'all spiritually on the same level. If your foundation is not built on the rock, which is Christ, it's going to fall. That's why so many relationships fail, because it's not built on the rock, Christ, not built around the Most High, and letting the Most High guide and lead your relationship. And that's what, through everything, through it all, through pregnancy, through giving birth, or how we should behave and present ourselves as not only pleasing to the Most High, but beneficial for us. You know, when you're a parent and you tell your children to do something, you tell them because you want them to benefit. And when you see them benefiting or doing things that you told them that's going to benefit them, you be pleased with them and you be happy and you be even willing to help them and bless them and do whatever you can to make them succeed and be happy because they got the ear to hear. And you know that when you tell them something, they're going to take it to heart. So everything our Father tells us, let's take it to heart because I see a lot of people talking about they commandments keepers. And when you bring up certain laws, it's like a deer in the head, like they have no idea what you're talking about. And you be like, well, have you even read the laws or know the laws? Like, yeah, I read it one time or, you know, it's been a couple of years since I read them, but it's like, no, the scriptures, the Most High tell us to meditate and read on these laws day and night. And once we do that, we'll get a better understanding. Not only how we'll know how to apply these things to our life, we'll know how to teach these laws the right way to somebody. So let's just be self-awareness about the Most High ways and really meditating and thinking on them and getting back to his ways and doing things in a way that's pleasing to him and also beneficial to us. And as always, let Yah be true and every man a lie. Until next time, Shalom.